This mega farm produces strawberries so large, they require heavy machinery just to move.
Here, an entire valley is covered with strawberries the size of cargo trucks, grown in perfect rows.
Next to a single fruit, a worker looks tiny planned. Each strawberry stands as tall as a vehicle.
Irrigation systems spray a fine mist across these truck-sized berries, controlling temperature and sweetness precisely.
Up close, every seed is huge, and the glow surface shows just how dense each giant strawberry is.
From above, the mega farm stretches for miles, every field packed with perfectly spaced, truck-sized strawberries.
Technicians scan each fruit with lasers, checking sugar levels and ripeness before the harvest even begins.
Custom harvest machines travel between the rows, adjusting the support rigs that hold each massive strawberry in place. The leaves themselves are enormous, acting like natural solar panels, feeding these oversized, high-yield fruits. Nutrient sprayers coat the giant strawberries evenly, keeping their skin hydrated and their color perfectly uniform. From elevated catwalks, workers monitor internal pressure and growth data for every single giant fruit. Steel cables reinforce the vines, turning each plant into a hybrid between a crop and a suspension bridge. Soft harnesses are wrapped around the strawberries, so their enormous weight never crushes the stems beneath them.
As morning fog lifts, the silhouettes of truck-sized strawberries emerge like massive red domes across the valley. At this scale, even a single section of skin looks like a landscape, with walnut-sized seeds embedded in it.
Seen from the air, the mega valley looks endless, a red, geometric grid of strawberries as big as trucks. Each giant strawberry begins with a seed pod nearly the size of luggage, carefully planted into reinforced soil beds. At this stage, the pod develops its first roots, anchoring deep into nutrient-rich soil. Support frames are installed early, preparing the ground to hold fruit that will eventually reach vehicle scale. Rows of seed pods stretch across the field, each one monitored individually for moisture and temperature.
Precision irrigation keeps the pods hydrated without flooding the fragile early root systems.
The first sprout appears thick and heavy, built to support a strawberry the size of a cargo truck. Soft straps support the young stems, preventing bending as early growth accelerates.
Robotic scanners track light absorption, predicting how quickly each plant will scale up.
Regular soil sampling ensures the ground remains stable enough for supporting giant fruit weight.
The leaves grow large early on, acting as natural solar collectors that feed rapid development.
As vines expand, additional frames distribute the weight of the future giant strawberries. A nutrient mist coats the young growth, boosting early cellulose production.
Up close, the vine shows dense fiber channels built to carry nutrients to the giant fruit. Protective wraps keep the stems from cracking as internal pressure increases during rapid growth.
By the end of the growth phase, every plant is structurally prepared to support strawberries bigger than trucks.
Once the vines stabilize, the first fruit begins forming, each one starting at the size of a basketball. At this stage, the surface develops naturally, with imperfect seed spacing and a matte skin texture.
Support rings guide the growing fruit, keeping its weight evenly distributed from the very start. Across the field, every forming berry steadily grows toward the size of a compact car.
Robotic arms rotate the fruit daily, preventing pressure spots as the mass begins to increase.
Cooling fans regulate surface temperature, preventing overheating during accelerated growth.
Scaffolding rises early, preparing to support fruit that will soon reach full cargo truck dimensions.
By mid-phase, each berry already reaches half the size of a truck while keeping its natural shape.
By the end of this stage, every fruit is firmly suspended, ready to grow to full cargo truck scale.
By this stage, each giant strawberry reaches nearly full truck size, supported by heavy steel cables.
The skin darkens and thickens as ripening accelerators, showing natural imperfections across the matte surface.
Every fruit is held by multiple lines to spread the weight evenly as the final ripening phase begins. Cooling units circulate chilled air, keeping the fruit stable as internal sugars reach peak concentration.
The strawberry's color deepens naturally, while keeping its smooth, conical shape and irregular walnut-sized seeds.
Technicians measure sweetness directly from the surface, tracking BRIX levels across the giant fruit. From above, the field shows dozens of fully developed strawberries, each nearing harvest size. Hydraulic stabilizers lock each fruit in place so the final ripening happens evenly.
Morning humidity settles on the surface, helping maintain moisture as the fruit reaches maturity.
Workers inspect firmness and color, confirming the fruit is structurally ready for harvesting.
Each massive seed sits deep in the strawberry's smooth surface, keeping the fruit's natural conical shape even at this scale.
Spectral sensors check internal ripeness, ensuring the fruit is evenly matured throughout.
Protective nets are placed overhead to keep the massive fruit clean during its final hours in the field. Support straps tighten slowly around the giant strawberry, securing its smooth conical shape as it reaches full truck-sized weight. At sunset, the giant strawberries reach perfect ripeness, ready to be cut down and transported. Workers begin by sliding soft lifting slings beneath the massive strawberry, preparing it for controlled removal. Hydraulic lifts secure the straps, ensuring the fruit's huge weight is distributed evenly before cutting. A crane lifts the giant strawberry carefully, allowing its massive structure to hang freely without pressure points.
Ground crews guide the suspended fruit into a padded cradle designed to hold its enormous weight safely.
The giant berry is lowered slowly into a shock-absorbing cradle that prevents any bruising during transport. Wide fabric straps keep the strawberry stable inside the cradle as teams prepare it for loading. Freshly harvested giants line the field, each secured in its cradle before being moved to the trucks.
Forklifts transport each cradle to the loading ramp, keeping the fruit level throughout the process.
A hydraulic platform slides the massive strawberry onto the flatbed truck, designed for heavy produce.
Industrial tie-downs lock the cradle into place, preventing movement during long-distance transport.
The truck's suspension lowers slightly, adjusting to the incredible weight of the oversized fruit. A breathable cover is placed over the fruit to shield it from direct sunlight during the drive. At sunset, the harvested giants begin their journey from the fields to the processing facility.
Convoys of flatbed trucks carry each giant strawberry toward the storage facility for the next stage of processing.
From above, the transport line stretches for kilometers, each truck hauling a fruit the size of a vehicle.
Each load is secured tightly, preventing the massive strawberry from shifting during the long trip.
As the convoy approaches the facility, each truck carries a strawberry matching the full size of a cargo vehicle.
Each truck is marked as an oversized agricultural load due to the extreme dimensions of the fruit.
Drivers reverse slowly to align the cradle with the hydraulic unloading systems.
Hydraulic clamps secure the cradle before the massive fruit is moved off the truck. The truck suspension adjusts as the unloading platform begins taking over the fruit's weight. A motorized sliding deck gently pulls the cradle onto the ramp without shaking the fruit. Teams roll the cradle along reinforced tracks that lead directly into the intake area. The giant strawberry enters the facility, where temperature-controlled storage awaits. Inside the hall, several giant strawberries arrive at once, beginning their inspection sequence. Inspectors examine the massive truck-sized strawberry from elevated platforms, checking its surface for any signs of stress.
Once fully inspected, each fruit is staged in the intake zone, ready for cooling and washing. The truck-sized strawberry is brought into a cold hall where cooling can begin under controlled conditions.
Powerful cooling fans circulate cold air around the massive fruit to stabilize its temperature.
Technicians check surface temperature from elevated platforms, ensuring the giant fruit cools evenly. Multiple giant strawberries are positioned in rows, each placed on reinforced pallets within the cooling zone.
Cold condensation forms on the skin as the strawberry gradually reaches its ideal storage temperature.
Insulated covers are placed over the giant fruit to slow temperature fluctuations during cooling. Chilled liquid flows through pipes beneath the fruit, helping cool it from the bottom up. Forklifts navigate carefully through the lanes, moving giant strawberries into their assigned cooling bays. Thermal scanners map the fruit's surface, identifying warmer zones that require extra cooling. Motorized cradles rotate the strawberry so every side receives equal exposure to chilled air. Once inside the chamber, insulated doors seal the room to maintain a stable cooling environment. Humidity modules regulate moisture to prevent the fruit's skin from drying during the cooling cycle.
Large surface sensors track how quickly the giant fruit cools toward its target temperature.
Cold vapor settles along the floor as dozens of truck-sized strawberries stabilize inside the hall.
By the end of cooling, every giant strawberry is fully stabilized and ready for washing and processing.
Each truck-sized strawberry enters the washing tunnel, where the cleaning process begins.
Soft, rotating brushes, each as tall as a worker, clean the fruit's massive exterior. Sanitation foam spreads across the surface, loosening dust from the transport phase. High-pressure water jets rinse the entire truck-sized strawberry from top to bottom.
Rinse cycles remove the remaining residue while keeping the fruit's surface intact.
Dual scrubbers clean the lower sections, monitored from elevated catwalks for precision. From elevated platforms, technicians inspect the enormous truck-sized strawberry, checking for any spots that need additional cleaning.
Several giant strawberries move through parallel lanes, each undergoing synchronized washing.
A controlled steam burst sanitizes the underside of the fruit, where debris often collects. Air knives blow sheets of air across the fruit, removing moisture before inspection.
From elevated platforms, workers guide the enormous truck-sized strawberry toward the drying section with slow, controlled movements.
Wash water drains below the conveyors, carrying away everything removed during cleaning.
Filtered air finishes the drying process, leaving the giant strawberry clean and moisture-free.
Once fully cleaned, each truck-sized strawberry moves on to the next processing stage.
The truck-sized strawberry is placed on a reinforced platform, ready for precise industrial cutting.
Robotic arms align around the massive fruit to begin the first stage of sectioning.
Technicians mark cutting lines by hand, working from ladders due to the fruit's huge size.
A powerful industrial laser scans the surface, mapping where the giant fruit will be sliced. Motorized blades, taller than a person, begin cutting through the thick outer layers. Cranes lift the sliced sections, each weighing hundreds of kilos due to the fruit's size.
Sliced sections move onto wide conveyor tracks designed for oversized loads.
Fresh interior flesh is revealed, showing thick fibers formed during giant-scale growth.
A rotating turntable spins the giant fruit, so each side can be sectioned evenly. A slicing grid lowers into place, dividing the fruit into blocks ready for further processing. By the end of sectioning, the strawberry has been divided into manageable, oversized pieces.
Oversized sections of the giant strawberry are positioned for secondary slicing on reinforced tables.
A massive cutting blade divides each giant slab into smaller, manageable portions. The blade cuts cleanly through the enlarged seeds, keeping the natural strawberry texture intact. Laser scanners measure each oversized piece to sort them by size and density. Robotic arms shift the giant cubes onto grading tracks for further classification.
Workers trim excess fibers, shaping each massive chunk for uniform grading.
The cubing machine reduces giant blocks into oversized cubes ready for sorting.
Long slice strips travel down reinforced belts built for heavyweight loads.
Close-up texture reveals thick fibers created by the fruit as giant-scale growth.
Sorting trays separate each oversized slice based on firmness and moisture content. Technicians scan each portion, recording grade and quality for downstream processing. Density readings determine which bin each oversized piece will fall into. Different sections travel across multiple lines, each piece still several times larger than a person. At the end of grading, all oversized pieces are organized and ready for the next stage. Huge strawberry chunks are transferred into the industrial hopper to begin pulping. The oversized pieces move down the chute, exposing thick fibers and enlarged surface seeds.
In the grinder chamber, heavy blades begin breaking down the giant strawberry blocks.
Powerful shredders tear through the dense flesh, releasing natural juice from the fibers.
A turbine mixer churns the shredded fruit into a consistent, smooth pulp. Industrial paddles crush remaining fragments, ensuring the mixture becomes uniform. Steam vents help stabilize the pulp's temperature for the next process stage. Rotating filters separate enlarged seeds from the pulp to maintain clarity. The thick pulp is directed through industrial pipes toward large holding tanks.
Several enormous tanks fill with the prepared pulp, ready for refinement.
Mixers inside each tank keep the pulp moving to prevent settling. Technicians take samples from sampling valves to evaluate consistency.
Sieve systems extract remaining fibers to achieve the proper smoothness.
The pulp enters multi-story tanks, where the formulation and blending process begins. Technicians track density, sweetness, and acidity to maintain precise formulation targets. Two turbine impellers stir the pulp, ensuring every batch blends consistently. Rich pulp circulates through the tank, its natural fibers creating a slow, dense swirl. Control panels regulate pH and flavor markers, keeping each batch within strict ranges.
In the lab, samples are checked for color, viscosity, and overall uniformity.
A fine mesh removes oversized seeds, preparing the mixture for its final texture.
Flavor technicians compare small samples side by side to confirm taste alignment.
Several formulation tanks operate in sync, each containing thousands of liters of blend.
Once blended, the mixture flows through insulated pipelines toward the next stage.
The blended mixture flows into the pasteurization line, where heat treatment begins.
Plate heat exchangers raise the temperature with precision for safe pasteurization.
Temperature and pressure are carefully tracked to maintain ideal heating curves.
The mixture moves through clear reinforced tubes for visual inspection during heating.
Technicians supervise the chambers from walkways, ensuring stable temperatures inside.
Steam valves open periodically to maintain safe operating pressure. The mixture passes through heated coils, where sensors track its flow and temperature.
After pasteurization, rapid cooling towers bring the mixture back to safe storage temperatures.
Chilled pipes cool the mixture quickly to preserve freshness and color.
Several cooling towers work in parallel, processing thousands of liters at a time.
Purity samples confirm that pasteurization has effectively eliminated contaminants.
Safety gates lock into place as the system completes its final control checks. Once cooled and cleared, the mixture flows onward to the bottling and packaging stage.
The cooled mixture enters the filling hall through reinforced pipelines built for heavy flow.
Multiple nozzles fill large bottles simultaneously to keep up with production demand.
Precision valves control every pour, ensuring each bottle fills to the exact level.
Robotic cappers secure each bottle with tightly fitted caps designed for transport. Inspection lasers verify fill height and cap integrity before the bottles leave the line. Air knives dry every bottle, preparing surfaces for accurate labeling.
Automated labelers place each label with millimeter precision at full production speed. Multiple conveyor lanes run in sync, moving thousands of bottles toward packaging.
Technicians perform random checks to confirm seal strength and internal consistency. Robotic palletizers stack the filled bottles into heavy-duty crates for transport. Heat shrink systems wrap each crate, protecting products from moisture and movement.
Forklifts move completed pallets toward loading docks for outbound shipping.
Every pallet is scanned and logged, ensuring full traceability through the supply chain.
Refrigerated trucks line up outside, ready to carry the finished product nationwide.
With trucks departing the docks, The final product begins its journey to stores.